What is on top of the deck? What is on top of the deck? Oh, it's Lightning Helix! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Welcome to Hunt the Week.
Hello everyone and welcome into the show. Welcome on in, each and every one of you magic heads out there. Take a seat, relax. You've played your games hopefully at this point, and now we're just vibing, right? We're just chilling. Maybe we're practicing. Maybe we're building some different builds to see what's going on. But this late in the week, we got our games in. And most of us are feeling good. Not me. We'll get to it. I am your host with the most, your Goku or Go Home, your Don, John DeMarco, your Riveteer leader. That's right. And you are in Hunt the Week. Yes, it's a weekly podcast about the Magic Arena Sealed Gauntlet League. Oh man, that name. It's a great name. It's a mouthful to say. Magic Arena Sealed Gauntlet League. Welcome to the show. How am I? You gotta ask this week of all weeks, you gotta ask me how I'm doing. We can not talk about me this week. Let's talk about you. How are you? Did you have a good week? You may remember last week you heard my name in the top 8 call out. I was 7-3. Boom. 4-1 week 1. 2-3 week 2. And in week 3, we went 0-5. That's right. The dreaded 0-5. Only maybe done it once before. Oh, it's a bad feeling. I also really liked my deck. So that really bummed me out because I was like, my deck's good. Why am I going 0-5? My deck's not that good. I don't have Orborg's Repossession. That card's just too good, right? That card it's just so good paired with all the good bombs in the set, which I also don't have any of the good bombs in the set. And all my 1-for-1 removal or repossession just like laughs at it. Anyway, I rebuilt my deck like 20 times. If I wasn't on vacation over the weekend in like a nice, sunny, tropical place, I'd probably be really upset and really bummed out. But I'm still riding that vacation high. So yeah, I went 0-5. I went from 7-3 to 7-8. And every time I think about that, it hurts a little bit. It hurts a little bit. And it doesn't feel great. Basically kicked myself out of the tournament. Did it in Eldraine. Doing it now. Classic Goku move. But hey, well, it's the end of week 3. No one's been eliminated yet. We've had 2 drops, and I'm not going to do, the elimination segment for drops. I'll tell you right now, that's not how I roll. My elims are for straight kills, baby. If you drop, I'll say your name eventually when we get there. But they don't count. So we're doing eliminations next week. Don't get too excited for them yet. No one's been eliminated yet this week. But we do have some things to talk about. So here's the kicker.
I'm a kicker. Kicker.
As I record right now, it is Thursday at 4:23 p.m. And this is your top 8. Johnny M, 12-3. Justin P, 12-3. Ragu, 12-3. Jonathan R, 11-3. Jeremy E, 11-4. Emmett F, 11-4. Adam S, 11-4. And Richard K, 10-5. The Cloud Blazer himself has made it up there. Richard had a really gross blue-red deck. I saw him play a couple times. Oh, I thought that deck looked really, really, really great. But that's your current top 8. And this week we're going to talk about losing. That's right. We're going to talk about losing with style, losing with grace, losing with dignity. And we're talking about not tilting. What is tilting and how to not do it, okay? We all lose, right? I mean, no one in here is undefeated, right? Johnny's number 1 at 12. Johnny number 1. How good is Johnny, man? Always up there. Code Pigeon, always up there. Midnight Falcon, they're up there last week. It's the same 3 names. And Jeremy, jeez. Emmett, jeez, people, man. Anyway, we all lost, right? Johnny's lost 3 times. Justin, 3. And we all take losses. Sometimes we take more than we'd like. Sometimes we go 0-5 in a week. And we don't feel good. And every pack we open is also terrible. How does that happen? How do you open 5 packs in a week? And just, they're all bad. I just don't get it. It's not helping what I'm doing. But when you lose a game, I like to leave the good game for the loser after the match, because it doesn't feel good to say good game first to maybe someone who you just stomped or got stuck on mana. I like to, if I lose, almost quickly respond, hey, good game, good games, and then please give me my pack. Please give me a Dom pack so I can open another rare Pain Land. But it's also like, have a little discussion, right? I think that always helps my losses if I'm not just like, hey, here's my pack, goodbye, which I do sometimes. But sometimes I like to be like, hey, man, I wish you really blew me out with that play. What a good play. I like to acknowledge a good play or a good sequence that my opponent had, or just call out some bombs they had where I'm just like, man, you got 4 of those things. Good deck, great bombs. Your deck looks great. I like to always compliment their deck too, because if they're beating me, their deck's probably doing some pretty cool stuff, right? Not to say that I'm like an amazing, unstoppable person. I went 05. Don't think I'm good. Don't listen to what I say. Don't take my advice. I'm not good. But there's a lot to be said about losing gracefully and, maybe trying to get a conversation out of your opponent and not getting salty. Not like, I would have had you if you didn't top deck that thing. Or, yeah, well, that's always my favorite. Hey, nice top deck there. And it's like, actually, I had that card in my hand for 5 turns, was waiting for the perfect opportunity, but you thought it was a top deck because, I don't know. But I try not to say negative things to your opponent. I've had it before happen to me, and maybe I've been a little salty to myself, to some people. Not too much, I don't think, but hey, if it's happened, I apologize. It's in the moment. Losing doesn't feel good, right? And that's why we have to talk about losing and talk about how to do it gracefully, because if it was an easy thing to do, we wouldn't have to talk about it. And we're going to talk about tilting. What is tilting? Tilting is when you get so upset that you make more mistakes. Now, I'm not saying I tilted in my 05 run. In fact, I don't think I did. I don't really feel like I misplayed a bunch. I don't know. My deck wasn't very good. The people I played were better, and they had answers for what I was doing. Totally fine. Totally fair. But usually if I lose, 2, 3 games in a row, take a break. I usually take at least an hour, couple hour break, go do something else, clear my head. Maybe I look at my deck. Maybe I rebuild it once or twice. But once you're starting to feel upset about losing and about how you're doing, don't play anymore. At least for a little bit, at least until you don't feel that way. Take a break for a few hours a day, a couple days if you can. Because if you're playing tilted, you're going to make more mistakes, you're going to beat yourself, and you're going to get more upset, and it's going to kind of be like a rolling ball down a hill, picking up steam, right? The more you lose, the worse you play. The more upset you get, the worse you play, the more you lose. So don't lose. How about that? Let's talk about how to never lose. That's a great topic, but sadly we can't touch on that this week. We've just got too much going on. So why don't you join me while we enlist a member of our community?
So we're all dog faces. We're all very, very different. But there is one thing that we all have in common. We were all stupid enough to enlist in the Army.
That's right. This week I enlisted none other than the one, the only, Ryan D, the Slickness. Ryan, first of all, he kept his video on. I love that. Not something I tell people to do, but the last 2 people did it. I love it, man. That's great. I get to see what these people look like when I talk to them. Something I'm always very curious about. Sometimes I ask where they are in the world, like before I start recording, and we get a nice, location-based conversation going. I always do a little bit of a pre-roll. Hey, how's it going? Let's just chat for 5 minutes or so. Get everything oiled up and ready to go. This week we got Ryan, and I've been playing Ryan. Ryan's been in the league longer than me. I've been playing this guy since I started, since Strixhaven, over a year ago. Ryan's one of those people, always courteous, always super nice, always wants to chat, and it's somebody that if he offers to, chat with Ryan. He has a blast while he plays, and he makes the game fun. But he's very hard to beat. At least I think so. I still don't think I've ever beaten you, Ryan. But please take a seat, relax, and sit down while we listen to my conversation with Ryan D, the Slickness. All right, everyone, join me as I enlist none other than Ryan D, the Slickness. Ryan, welcome to the show.
All right. Hey, John. What's up, everyone?
Hey, good to have you. Happy to have you. You were a vampire lord back in your day, but these days, you're just out there playing your best magic as a league committee member, right?
Yeah, that's right. Right after I became vampire lord, apparently I graduated to league committee after that. That's the normal stepping stone,
Yeah,
that
you want at least one vampire lord on your committee. No matter what you
yes.
do, right? Just for the sake of, they're gonna live forever. They're gonna keep you going. Now, Ryan, when did you start playing Magic?
It sounds like I have a common answer to a lot of people on here. Back in Revised, in the 90s.
Revise. I thought you were gonna say Kanzi Tarkir. That's the other
Oh, really? Is
very
it okay?
prevalent answer. But Revise. Ooh, have you been playing since then? Has it been a continuous? Do you have those cards? I'm always curious about this stuff.
Oh boy. So yeah, it has not been continuous. I started, I don't know how old I was then, like whatever, 12, 13,
Yeah.
something like that. Um, and uh we amassed a little bit of a collection. I played with my dad and my friend, and my dad, like I now realize being a dad would love to spoil me with a new box of Magic cards whenever a set came
Oh,
out.
lucky boy.
Yeah, he would. Well, and then I realized what he was doing is he would actually just buy a box and he'd like hide it in his closet, and then just every day when he came home from work, or every other day, he'd just like take out 4 packs and like he'd
Yeah.
split them or something like that.
He's like, "Oh, you
So
open a Lotus? I'll take that one, kid. Here, you take this bear. It's great."
but as other people said, just because I've played back then doesn't really mean anything to now. I didn't played for like 6 years or something like that, and then took a huge break, and then just came back with Arena basically.
With Arena, what was your first setback with Arena?
uh One of the Ravnica sets. I think I at the tail end of Guilds of Ravnica.
It brought you back. You've been in the league. You've been a big contender for a long time. Always a joy to play against you, Ryan. You're one of those guys who likes to talk, and it's something I really appreciate. It's really helped me, get to know you as a person, and I love that aspect of you.
Thanks, Chad. Yeah, I can't carry the win streak too much, so I got to hang my hat on something. So
Yeah,
I'll take enjoyable opponent as a
you're a pleasure. Okay. All right, so let's talk league. We're in Dom U. Okay, how are you doing? How's your deck? Let's talk about the Dom U league.
Yeah, sure. Damu's pretty tough pool for me. I don't know why, but I guess because I typically focus on more focused aggro decks. That's kind of like my style of play.
Okay.
So when you get a set that's just naturally like, hey, you want to play 5 colors?
Yeah,
And
Dirtle
I
time.
just kind of freeze. I'm like, I don't know how to build this deck. This is I don't know. And then I got two. I mentioned this to like everyone, so people are sick of hearing this, but I only got two dual lands in
Ooh,
my
that's a
opening pool. So it's
very
like not.
under par right there, too.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I got like a couple meteorites or whatever
Oh
to
yeah,
help, but it was like,
limited
what the heck?
bomb meteorite.
Exactly. So yeah, I was kind of, already on tilt from the get-go, I guess. Um, so, I always have a positive attitude though. Anything can change with, your packs and whatever. And I decided to go SNC with my punishment packs, and that kind of changed the whole direction.
I like it. So you've been one of those people that has gone all one other set, and you're not messing with vampires, even though you're a vampire lord. You're not messing with werewolves. You're not getting enchantments and ninjas and Kamigawa. What brought you to SNC? What was the choice that made you go, SNC is my set?
Yeah, I really like. I went on Scryfall and I like looked at the sets, trying to remind me of what's in them again. I think I was just kind of hedging a bit in that SNC has a lot of fixing in it,
A lot,
you
yeah.
know. So I was like, well, if I don't get any good cards, at least I'll continue to work on the fixing, and maybe I can switch back to
Yeah.
Dominaria. And my first 2 packs were pretty terrible for power level, like a Devilish Valet and a
Ooh.
was that terrible thieving one, widespread thieving. Um, but I got some more fixing, and I just kind of decided to go for brokers, which is, obvious
Go for
an
broke.
obvious
Go
archetype.
for
Yeah.
brokers. Right.
And then I opened my magical pack, that had like all brokers cards. It was like Gallagher's and
Yeah.
Lagrella and a broker's charm and Jewel Thief. It was like, okay, well, I guess I'm doing this.
That was the week. So me and you, we had a feature match last week. You opened that pack before we played, and as soon as you opened that pack, my heart sank because I knew you were on brokers. I was like, this pack is like 6 great playables in it. I was like, I'm not beating this deck. I'm not, and I didn't. Spoiler alert, didn't beat Ryan. And then you had another feature match this week. You played against Johnny. How did that go?
Oh, that did not go well at all.
Johnny's tough, man. Johnny's a hard person to beat. It's hard to get a win on Johnny, especially this
well,
league. He seems to be just tearing it up with like this crazy mana base that it just works every time.
I guess I can try to make myself feel better by being like, okay, yeah, he's like second place, so I shouldn't feel too bad. But
No,
I don't know. It's just like if my deck doesn't get off to a good start, it's just it's not it's a feeling of hopelessness because like I know I'm just gonna get outvalued here. So
yeah. If you're not these 5-color decks, which is what I'm 3-color, but I'm playing 5-color. I'm just doing some splashing, of course. If you give him time, you're not going to win that game. Like you got to get down early. That's what you did against me. You had your 2-drop, your 3-drop. You have these pump spells I'm scared of, and it's just hard when you're on the back foot to get to stabilize, right? Especially in this format, it seems.
yeah, and Merida's Outrider is really bad for me too, and I don't have
Yeah.
great removal. I have like a lot of fight spell removal, and it's like, oh, I'll return that guy to your hand. That works, right?
Got him.
That does not work actually.
What's
So
your record at the moment, Ryan? How are you doing in Domio?
6 and 8. That's my
6 and
record.
8.
Yeah. So my ambitions of top eighting are definitely fading.
Hey,
You
you're
know.
not out of it though. You get a 5-0 week, you're right back in it. 6 and 8. It's not great, but it's also not the end. You still got what 3 losses to give. So hopefully you make it to at least week 5. That's
Yeah,
my
and I think that mentality actually helps in a league like this. It's such a long league, and your deck changes so much with
oh
packs.
yeah.
I'm not the give up type, I guess. I like to stick with it, and I don't mind playing, even if I know I'm not gonna be top 8 or whatever.
Yeah.
So
If
like
nothing else, you play for top 50 so you can get your money back and play
right.
again, right? That's always like the bare minimum goal for me is like get my money back, play again.
Yeah, right. When I know I'm not gonna do it, my goal is like, okay, top 50 or at least, finish over 500.
Yeah, there you go.
So, yeah.
Ryan, you've been in a lot of leagues. Like you said, you came in to Arena back around guilds. I think you've been in the league just about as long as I have, probably pretty close to around then. I came in on Strixhaven. I don't know what your first set was, but you've been around a while. So I want to ask you, what's been your favorite league that you've been a part of?
I was around for the first online crop,
Yeah,
which was Zendikar
old
Rising.
school. Look at this guy, old school league. This is why he's in the committee. This is why he's a vampire lord. Okay, he's been there from the beginning of the online stuff. All right, so you got more knowledge than me under my hat. Going back then, which one do you just look back on very, very fondly?
Yeah, well, you kind of alluded to it a little bit, but probably the Vow League is my favorite, just because that's where I did the best. And I don't know if I recall, it might have been my first 5-0.
So the way that worked, right? It was the 2 highest ranked people at the end of week 1 became vampire lords, right?
Yeah.
And it was you and it was Chris R. Shout out to Chris R. I know Chris R is a great guy. But you guys both shifted into vampire leaders because you had a great 5-0 start. And you also had your vampires won that league, right? You guys had a great community going. You guys had some really good scouting going. You guys had a lot of just, I don't know, tricks on your side that the other side of vampires didn't have in that league. And it took you guys all the way to the top, Ryan. Of course, you're going to look back on that fondly.
Yeah, it was right. It was fun, and then I tried to have a fun team, to have a sort of community team, thing going on, and I think a lot of people, got involved with. I know like Andrew A, came on to, be really engaged and even became a league committee member for a little bit there
yeah,
too.
that was the rise of Andrew A. Mopu Dofu. That was where they became. And I'll say in that league, I had a great run that league because there was this thing where it was there was a prize pact whoever could last the longest without getting eliminated against vampires. So I played, I want to say like 8 vampires in a row without dying. And then Ryan D, the slickness comes along.
Oh, no
And
way. Did I do that?
yeah, you did. You knocked me out. You ruined my like 8-0 run I had going in the end. Your deck was great though. You had Olivia, if I remember, and a bunch of other broken, cards.
I had Anjay from the beginning, so I had
Yeah,
both the
Anjay.
vampires. Yeah.
And you were just like a straight black red like removal strong creatures deck. My Strixhaven like 5-color dirtily thing just was not doing anything against you. Always a great player. Again, I don't think I've ever actually beaten you. I've played you a few times. I mean, I don't check the stats. I don't fact check on this show, but I'm pretty sure I got a really bad win rate against you, Ryan. You're one of those people that's just like every time we play, I'm like, oh no, this again.
Nice. I'll take it. I also won't fact check that.
Yeah.
I like your take.
Yeah, no need. That's what I remember. So that's what I'm going with. Now you're a league committee member, so I understand if you can't answer this question fully because there's a lot going on behind the scenes that I don't know about because I'm not a member. I just make the podcast. Please don't come at me. I'm not the man here. But Ryan, what is one thing that you would change about the league if you could? One thing, positive, negative, whatever.
Right. Well, kind of funny. We're on video chat today, and you mentioned that too with John previous week.
Yeah.
I wish I could like see people.
You know what? Yeah. It's great seeing you face to face. It's like I don't know what you look like. You got the picture on. I kind of assume you look like your picture. Kinda, I guess. But it's nice that I get to see your face, Ryan. I know what you look like. I get to talk to you. I don't usually do video chats with people just because I don't, I'm not asking people to present themselves if they don't want to. It's totally fine. But
if I was smart, I would have put like some sort of blue filter on to match my little avatar picture.
Yeah, that would have worked. I would have been like, oh man, you look just like that picture.
But I guess something like I just thought of now really is that in line with seeing people is I do think it'd be cool to have like an in-person thing.
In person or like on video. Like or either because all the Canadian people they get to hang out in person. They always talk about like, yeah, we all met up at Montreal and played a draft. I'm like, are you guys? Why can't I get that fun, part of the league to go on down here in North Carolina?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So more video. An in-person thing would be cool. I don't know, something like that. But like you said, I get to voice my ideas whenever I want, but I guess I would say like anyone can really. I mean, if anyone has an idea, we have that league committee channel. So
yeah, don't be afraid. No one is going to make fun of you for a bad idea. You guys are very nice in there. Everything I'm sure gets some kind of consideration about what's going on. So if you have an idea for the league, for the podcast, for anything, post it in the league committee. We all check that thing out and we all want to make the league a better place for everybody. Does Discord make it easy to do face chats? I'm not very good at Discord. No,
I have no. I mean, this is my first Discord experience. You sound like an old guy, but
yeah, same. I learned Discord through the league, and it took me a long time. Where I was like, I don't understand how any of this works, and I had to figure it out. And I still like don't really get how people link like chat rooms and stuff. It's like I don't know how people are doing it, but that's why my podcast links are so poorly formatted. I don't get Discord. I'm sorry, don't get it. I'm really trying. All right, Ryan, before I let you go, I got to ask you, as I'm starting to ask everyone, what is your greatest Magic accomplishment? This could be, spiked the top 8, won a GP, just had a really good poll, whatever you think your greatest Magic accomplishment is, high or low. We're all going to have different ones, right?
All right, so I will keep it short, but I did have 2 things I want to mention.
Yeah, let's go.
So fondest memories are like back in the day, when I first started playing.
Sure.
And one of my first tournaments that I did well at, I was in the final game. So I was playing a Sly deck, which is like a mono red deck.
Okay. Aggro, like you said, you like the aggro decks.
Yeah, that's how it works. But back then like lightning bolts really good. So I had like 4 lightning bolts, 4 lightning strikes.
It's still good. Lightning Bolt's still good, it turns out, actually. Lightning Bolt.
Yeah,
It's a great card.
exactly. So I played against another guy he was playing like a similar kind of deck, but he was splashing blue for whatever reason. I only remember he was splashing blue for basically a Wheel of Fortune effect.
Sure.
He was playing this card Diminishing Returns.
Okay.
So he was gonna die. And it was the final game, and I was all psyched because this would be my first tournament win.
Yeah.
But he was at 3 life and I was at 6. And
no.
he cast Diminishing Returns. And that just means we both draw 7 cards. And he had enough mana available still. I guess it was late in the game. Yep. So all I need to do to win or at least tie is to draw any one of my burn spells and just throw it to his face.
Yep.
And he drew 2 lightning bolts.
Oh, no.
And I drew 0 lightning bolts, lightning strikes, nothing like that. And he just blam, bam. And I was dead. I was like, oh no. So I know that's not a greatest accomplishment, but it's a fun story. And I always remember that. So I never really won anything consequence back in the day. So it was all just a local thing. I never went to GPs. I didn't know about any of that.
Yeah, you're a little kid.
Yeah. So greatest accomplishment now though is I took down that decathlon event that they had. You remember where you could like in preparation for Neo, they had these events you could play. And you had to beat each one to kind of move on.
The league or Magic Arena?
No, not the league. Sorry, it's Magic Arena thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do know what you mean. Yeah.
So the final thing was an Arena Cube event, and you had to, I don't know what the record had to be, but you had to take it down, and then you could win a playset of Neo. So
really,
yeah. So it's not the $2,000 one, unfortunately.
No, that's still nice though. You want a whole playset of Neo?
But yeah, so yeah, exactly. So I did Cube, which I was trying to get better at the time, because I just was introduced to it with Arena here.
Yeah.
So I won that. And I remember where I was in my house. It was like late at night. I was just like laptop on my lap in the guest bedroom at like 1 a.m. or something. And yeah.
So how many was it, like 5 tournaments to get to the cube or something to like get the prize?
Yeah, it wasn't like super hard because I think you could enter the preliminary events like as much as you wanted or something like that. So it wasn't like a big like tournament bracket where you really got whittled down. The last one was definitely just a one and done. You qualified, now you get your one shot.
That's awesome. I've never won anything cool like that playing Magic Arena or Magic Online. That's really cool that you actually won something physical from playing Magic on the computer. I don't know. That's just really cool to me. That is an accomplishment. So you got full play set, non-foil, I'm guessing. And of just every card in Neo, 4 of each. Boom.
No, just 1 of each.
1 of each?
Did I say play set?
You said
I don't know I don't know the words. Sorry. It's 1 of each.
I mean, it's still good, right? Does it come in the little white box? I used to get those on Magic Online where you could redeem a set.
Oh, John, I'm gonna crush you again. It was only digital. It was only
digital.
It's just it was just the digital.
It's still very good. It's still a prize.
That's still good, right? Good job. That's your greatest accomplishment, huh? Okay.
No. You got bolted out of a game 20 years ago. That's the greatest accomplishment. Still very cool though. I haven't won. I know Maxime's won like money playing Magic Arena. I still have never really won anything playing Arena. So still very awesome that you were able to go through a big tournament like that, especially on Arena where like there's a lot of good people on Arena, man. There's a lot of good players. There's so much luck and variance. So very cool that you're able to take that down, get yourself, a singleton set of Neo.
Thanks, John.
All right, Ryan. Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show. You're a league committee member. You've been in charge this year of our big push to get new players in the league, and you heard John R. mention your name, says that it works. I know you do a great job out there. You're working on some kind of website, I think. Really excited to see how that goes, and just to see how the rest of your Dom U league goes, and to keep playing in the future. Like I said, you're always one of those people I really enjoy playing. I like watching you around. You've been around for a long time, so you're entrusted in the community, and you're entrenched, and you're just a great guy. I thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
Thanks, John. You're very kind as always.
And
It's
for
always
beating me.
always a pleasure.
For just beating me over and over again. Ugh. All right, Ryan. You have a good one. I'll talk to you soon. Oh man, Ryan was such a nice guy. Seems so cool. I don't know. You're so nice and so cool. Everybody's so nice and so cool. And John had John R on last week. He's like, "Don't bring me on. I'm going to be boring." You weren't boring at all. You were great. I had a great time talking to you. We're all nerdy people out here. We all want to talk about Magic. We're all passionate about this thing, right? That's why we're in this Discord and a part of this community, because this is not only a hobby, but a hobby we're passionate about, right? You don't spend so much time talking to people and streaming matches and talking about games, building your deck, if it's something that you only want to do, I don't know, a couple times a month. And you know what? I've got a challenge for you this week, listener. If you're playing somebody and they ask you to go into the voice chat, do it. And if they don't mention anything, maybe you should say, "Hey, want to chat?" That's it. That's my challenge. Goku's challenge of the week. Just try to get a conversation going, and then maybe one of you streams a game, a couple people stop by, see how everything's going. People learn more about your personality. You learn a little something about somebody else. And again, we don't get salty, and we don't tilt. Well, we try not to tilt. Sometimes it's not something you can control, right? I understand. And that's the show, man. We're in week 3. Again, no one's been eliminated yet, as I record. I think Entropy is going to do a lot of the heavy lifting for us tomorrow. But today, hey, we're all alive, man. We're all doing it. And I know you did better than me, because I can't imagine there's more than a handful of O5s that happen in the week, so you got to be feeling good about that, even if your record's not great. If you won one game this week, you did better than Goku, Player of the Year, top 8er. Oh my gosh. Everybody takes losses. But hey, just means I am ready for that 5-0, and I am due. Please, give it to me. I need to come back into this thing. I don't think I can come back. I mean, I know I can, but it's just like, my deck just does not have the rares or the mythics, and my Domu packs have not been kind. They've been so unkind that I might open something else, which is not something I was planning on doing, but I'm at like 5 duds in a row on these packs. And I'm not just talking rares. I'm talking uncommons. I'm talking commons. I'm talking, yeah, that dual land looks good. I guess that makes the cut, right? Well, that's it for the show. I hope everyone has a great week. I hope everyone has a great next week. I wish you luck, the best of it that I can. And I hope you get to keep a good 7, and that the shuffler is in your favor. Until then, bye everybody.